Welcome back. This is episode 10 of IT Candor. I'm going to be very, very quick in this episode. First off, I could probably go on for an hour trying to talk about Copilot. There's just way too much. So I'm going to break those up into future videos. But for this video, what we're really going to focus on is all the Copilots. And I guarantee you there's a Copilot that you haven't heard of, or maybe even I missed one. But for the most part, I'm going to go through a lot of different Copilots, and I'm going to show you where to find them within the applications. Not so much how to use it, maybe a tip here and there, maybe a quick example, but I want to keep this video short enough to where I don't lose your attention and you're not bored. There will be timestamps to skip ahead. Let's get into how many Copilots there are. We're going to start off with, I think the one that most people are aware of. We're going to call it the Chat Copilot. This is the M365 Copilot Chat, is in the Windows taskbar. That was recently released in the Windows 11 November update, I think it was. All right, don't quote me on that, but you should see it next to your start bar. There should be a Copilot icon. So we're going to call this the M365 Chat. Now, this chat actually lives in 4 places that I'm aware of. I'm going to go through all 4 of them with you, but let's get what the user experience looks like as somebody who just got Copilot enabled on their account. So we're going to start with the M365 desktop, and with that, let's get going. Before we go too far into this demo, I do want to apologize very, very early in advance. I am going to have to blur a lot. Not that I want to, but some of these are internal Microsoft stuff. So since it's internal, I can't just share customer documents, customers' names, internal employee names that I'm chatting with, especially in the Teams. I'm going to have to blur a lot. The Outlook, I'm going to have to blur a little bit. But I just want to give everybody a heads up. Please don't crucify me for blurring it out. The goal of this video is to show you where you find it and the neat things you can do, not, hey, let's see what Joel's talking about internally and the customers he's working with. So as you can see here on the taskbar, there is a Copilot icon with the preview button. When you're signed into the computer with a corporate account, this is what you're going to see. It is going to pop up on the right side, and it's going to say Microsoft Copilot 365 Chat. This is the one which is going to be able to talk to your data. It could be your email, your SharePoint, your OneDrive, your documents, your colleague messages, anything in Teams. This is the chat to talk to your data. I'm not going to type anything at this time, but this is the first experience that you'll get. Now, you obviously see this web icon. I'm going to take a quick second to talk about this. This is a Bing Chat Enterprise. There's going to be a future video talking about the difference between Bing Chat Enterprise, M365, Bing Consumer Chat, and all these language models. I do plan to do that video, so check back. But for the most part, you're going to see this one, and it's going to say Microsoft 365 Chat. This is the chat version. This is one of the 4 places that I was talking about. So the second one is within the Edge application itself. So within Edge itself, I'm in a work profile, as you can see here, and if I was to go over, you see the Copilot icon. It says the Microsoft 365 Chat. This is the same one that is on the desktop. However, it's running within the Edge browser. The third one is actually within Bing Chat itself. So when I click the chat icon, which brings me to Bing Chat, you can see here I have the M365 running in a web page within Bing Chat. This is the third one. The next one is within the Microsoft 365.com homepage for your users. As you can see on the left side, there is a Microsoft 365 chat app here. You can go into the chat and once again do all the things that I was discussing before, catch up on meetings, and even give some tips and tricks right here of where to start. And actually, while I'm shooting this video, I'm not going to go back and fix all that, but I said 4. Technically, there are 5. So I just made a mistake because I was like, wait a minute, where are they at? Here's where the 5th one is for this Microsoft 365 chat that I can find today within the desktop ecosystem. If you're in Teams, you look down here, you should have a Microsoft 365 chat, and as you can see, the chat window is identical to all those other chats. Also on the mobile phone, in my case, I'm using an iPhone. As you can see here, I'm in a work profile in the Edge application, and once again, there's the Copilot icon at the bottom. When I click on that, it's going to bring up the Microsoft 365 chat. I wouldn't count this as like a 6th one because it is running in the Edge browser, so it's one of those 5 that I discussed. But once again, this is what the mobile experience would look like in terms of using an Edge browser with a work profile. So I hope you guys see that there are many, many different ways to get to your M365 chat application now, or whatever you want to call it. It is all over the place. That's going to give the same user experience no matter where you go to start, I would say, talking or chatting or working with your data, be it email, team chats, team meetings, documents in your OneDrive, your SharePoint, your team sites. This is you chatting with your data. Ultimately, this is that starting point. Next up, we're going to jump right into Microsoft Word and what that Copilot looks like. I opened up a brand new blank document, and the first thing it does, it says draft with Copilot. And I can say, hey, let's go ahead and I want to write a document about anything, and it would try to help start me going. I can also use a reference file and pull up an existing one. Now, if I wanted to, I also have the Copilot icon in the ribbon here, which opens up a Copilot window. And this, once again, allows me to do a lot of different things. I can say, help me write about something. It's going to give tips. You can also see the important drop down here. I can look at using this document, or I can look at my organizational data to help me build this. Maybe I have multiple sales things going on. I say, give me these 3 different sales meeting notes, and let's create something out of that. So this is where you'll find the word Copilot. And as I said, this little icon will pop up here if you want to start a draft, and it will say, hey, help me write something. Just like the desktop version, the web version of Word also has the Copilot. You see the drafts and you see the icon up here again. So any users who only have access to the web version of Word, you get the same experience as the desktop people. Next up, PowerPoint Copilot. What does it look like? Where to find it? How do we use it? So as you can see, I did a new blank template for a PowerPoint presentation. And in the top right corner, it's a little different than Word. There is no pop-up here saying, hey, help me type something. You actually kind of go into the Copilot to begin with and say, let's talk about creating a different deck or specific slides or help with content. Let me give an easy example. So I'm going to ask it to help me create a presentation about pugs. Now I'm going to edit this so you don't have to wait, because it is going to take a little time when it does this. But as you can see with the power of editing, it quickly created a presentation with the history of pugs, the characteristics, the personalities, and things like that. And every time I've run this, I get something different. So last time it was like a cool purple theme, but as you can see, this gets me started. And then from there, I can say, okay, how do I want to handle this? How do I want to make changes to it? This is just a good starting point for my presentation. And one thing I love, it puts notes for the speaker. That's awesome, right? So that's a good starting point for where to find Copilot for PowerPoint. PowerPoint Online, just like the other ones, has a Copilot, the same buttons here. You can do the same type of thing. Say, hey, create me a presentation about, something you're going to do, such as that planning a party or some event, whatever. You could say, hey, give me a presentation. The web version acts just like the desktop. So people who only have access to PowerPoint web versions, awesome. You get the same features. You're not losing out as a person with the desktop version. The next Copilot we're going to discuss is within Microsoft Excel. Let's have a quick look at how this one works. It does have some gotchas and caveats. I'll explain that. Let's go. So the first thing you'll notice when you open a blank spreadsheet here, the Copilot is grayed out. It doesn't do anything. There are 2 things at the moment you have to do to make this work. The first is this autosave. So we're gonna have to turn autosave on. So let's go ahead and save the document, get autosave on. One big improvement they made, which is awesome, is you'll see right here, you need to start with a table in order for this to work. So when I click here, all this is grayed out, nothing works. And so what we have to do, and this wasn't here before, by the way, before it was, you didn't know what the heck was going on. You had to you had to have a data and turn it into a table, and then this would light up. So this is one of those quick improvements that's already been there. So let's just click try an example. And this gives us an example of the type of data. And now you can see within Copilot, I can highlight the data and ask it to do things such as, let's just say, let's go ahead and have it design us some visuals around this data. And once again, magic of editing, this was gonna look like it only took a second. So here it goes. I created a pivot table. Hey, awesome, thanks. Go ahead and add this to a new sheet. Instantly like that, there is some visuals based on that data. If you don't know how to create a pivot table, if you don't know what type of visuals to start with, very quickly Excel hooked you up, and that's kind of the starting point for Copilot. Remember, 2 gotchas. The save has to be on, the data has to be in a table format, and the nice thing is they added the ability to tell you you need a table in order for this to not be grayed out so it can work. Here's the Excel Online. The online version also gets the Copilot. As you can see right here again, it can start us with that table, help us get some data in there to mess with. Just like the desktop people who only have access to the Excel Online still get the same Copilot experience. Next up is Copilot within Outlook. Outlook in its infancy stage with Copilot. There's only a couple little things it can do today, but they are very powerful things. So let's go have and look at what that looks like within Outlook. So within a new email, I can come down here and start clicking the Copilot icon, and it gives me two options, a draft or coaching by Copilot. So a draft by Copilot is going to pop up this little window, and then I can say, hey, help me type this email. How do I say what I want to say to the party that I'm sending it to? And then what type is it? Is it professional? Is it joking? You know, those type of emails that you need to send out. The second option here comes up is coaching by Copilot. And this is where it can review what you typed in the email and say, yeah, you kind of sound like a jerk. Or those people who like to put all caps for their entire email, it's going to be like, look, you sound like you're yelling at somebody. Why don't we try to stop using all caps, right? And so those are just two examples within Outlook. There's also within an email that's already existed. I can't show that because it would have to blur the whole screen. Doesn't make sense. In an email, you could actually have it summarize a very long email, what's going on. Those who use Outlook Web, as I seem like I'm repeating myself over and over again, your web version of Outlook has that draft and coaching just as the full desktop version. So anybody who does have to use Outlook Web still gets the same feature set. This is Outlook Mobile. I think it needs a little tweaking because it's a little difficult to understand, but there's a couple things it can do. As I said, it has the ability to look at a previous email and summarize it for you. It's this little star icon on the notes here. So if you click on that, it says summarize by Copilot, and it will summarize the email for you. Next up, you can have it help you with the email, just like we saw before with the coaching icons and all that. So the coaching icon's got the little stars with the hat. You click on it, it says here's some coaching. And the other icon all the way to the right is the pen with the star. It's like editing. So I think this is the challenge with the mobile app, is it's really hard to tell where the Copilot is because it's using like stars and not the traditional icon. Hopefully they improve that. Next up for us is OneNote, and what does Copilot look like in that? Once again, I feel it's not as expansive as it could be. It's going to probably grow within terms of features. A lot of people say, yeah, OneNote's gone. It's not still there. It's still kicking, still around. I still use OneNote probably more than maybe I should, but let's have a look at what that Copilot looks like. So here we are within a OneNote. In the OneNote itself, there is the Copilot icon at the top. It's going to open the blade once again. Gives us some options here. This is a really nice one, draft a to-do list. And this is great when you have like lots of meeting notes or whatever you had in there. Summarize is awesome. If there's a very big PowerPoint, just summarize it for me and list out pros and cons. Once again, you can type in the prompt, have it get some other data and bring it in there for you so you can add it and enhance the notes themselves. But that is Copilot for OneNote. At this time, OneNote Online does not have Copilot, so just understand there's that little bit of limitation. Sure, it's going to be coming. Hopefully, I'm sure people still use OneNote Online, especially within like Teams chats. But for now, just take note that OneNote Online version does not have Copilot. So that's it for the Microsoft 365 Copilot stuff that we saw. We have the chat in multiple different places. We also have the Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote, Outlook. Yeah, I think that's all of them. So we got all those in a desktop version. You see it's there. The web version, we're still lacking OneNote. And then obviously in the mobile side, you saw the Outlook is there. It's a little difficult. However, the rest of the mobile stuff, which is the Microsoft Office app with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, does not have any Copilot today. I'm assured that it is going to come there eventually, so you just have to be on the lookout for that. The next Copilot we're going to talk about is within the Microsoft Loop application. I personally don't really use Loop as much as I should. Maybe I need to take a step back and say, let's take a look at this. I've seen other people using it recently, but let's have a quick look at where you can find the Copilot within Microsoft Loop. The way to actually use Loop within Copilot is you have to start with a command, which is insert the switch here, and then you'll see draft page content. So when I click on that, I can then ask it to draft a page or brainstorm or blueprint or whatever I want, and it will automatically put those notes into Loop. Now, let's just say, tell me about pugs. As you can see here, this was written by Copilot. There's the icon off to the right. I can click that, and I can have it rewrite it for me if there's something I don't like, but this is just an example of Copilot within Loop. The next up is Microsoft Whiteboard. Most people who don't know, we actually put Copilot in the Whiteboard. I actually found this out recently. Now, if you don't use the Whiteboard, it's an awesome app. I like it personally. I think it's good for collaboration. But let's take a look at what Copilot looks like in Whiteboard. We have the Whiteboard open. In this example, here's some just sticky notes. And what we can do is click on Copilot, and we can say organize notes into a really good view. So one click and say, go ahead and categorize these for me. And just like that, it actually put some really nice colors. It gave some categorizations. It moved things around for us so we don't have to organize it afterwards. So during your Whiteboard session, just take your notes and have it clean it up and organize it and make it neater for you at the end. Here we are in the web version of Whiteboard. As you can see, this has already organized it for me as before, so I can click on the OneNote and say maybe summarize. It'll let me do other content, but here you go right here. The OneNote is in the web version of the Microsoft Whiteboard, just like the desktop app version has it. So as you saw here, the Loop web version and the Whiteboard desktop and web version both have Copilot. However, the mobile versions currently don't have Copilot. On iOS, at least I know, it doesn't have it for the Whiteboard app and the Loop app on a mobile device. Hopefully it'll come there. Sure, it will make its way there, but for now you'll have to use the web or the desktop version of these applications. Next up is Microsoft Teams. Now, yes, it's part of the whole Microsoft 365 stuff products. However, I saved it to the very end because it's probably got the most going on of all the Copilots. As we saw earlier, the Microsoft 365 chat is within there, but there's an actual Copilot within Teams. I have to apologize. I have to blur a lot of this screen, but the point is to show you what the buttons look like, where you can find it within Teams itself. So with that, let's get going. Last time we left off with the Microsoft 365 chat, as we saw, is in Teams as well. But let's have a look at the actual Copilot within the Teams itself. No matter what chat window I'm on, if it's a one-in-one chat or a group chat, the far right corner is going to have this open Copilot. And when I click on that, it's going to let me go ahead and give me a summarization of the chat, tell me about the prompts or anything that was going on with our conversation. It only does the past 30 days, though, as you can see. Another good thing is if you missed a meeting, there is some really cool things that Copilot can do. It can actually give you a full summary of the meeting, so you still have that same icon and say, recap the meeting for me, tell me what I missed. If you go into the recap area, this too has a opening Copilot icon. It takes you kind of to the same place to recap the meeting. The one downside today is you have to record or transcribe the meeting in order for this to function and have the recap afterwards. I heard there's some talk they're going to improve that, but that is just to help you understand where the Copilot lives, and it's what you need to do in terms of after a meeting if you want those notes. Now, there's one other thing I can't really show here. It's a little difficult. However, when you do get to about 10 minutes left in the meeting, Copilot's going to give you a little pop-up saying, hey, by the way, the meeting's almost over, and you can have it summarize the meeting or tell you, get your meeting notes ready or plan for the closure of the meeting. Here we are on the web version of Teams. Sorry, it's blurred out, but same thing as before. We have the little Copilot button here for it. And just as before, if we go into a meeting, we have the Copilot recap for a meeting itself if it was recorded or transcribed. So somebody who has to use Teams web doesn't lose any of the capabilities that the Teams desktop version people have. You get the same experience. Copilot is there for one-on-one chats to actually chat with Copilot with the M365 chat, and ultimately giving me a recap of the meeting itself. Another cool thing, if you join late, you can ask it to catch up on what you missed so far in the meeting, giving you a recap up to that point. So those people who tend to join meetings late, it will actually tell you what's been going on. So here's the mobile version of Teams. It has Copilot built in on iOS at a minimum. So if you go into an individual chat, you can see the Copilot icon's going to pop up and you can see everything and just ask questions for a one-on-one chat. And same with any meeting that, as we discussed, was recorded. You will see the Copilot at the top and you can click and say, hey, give me a recap of that meeting and what's been going on right from the mobile device. So mobile people get a fairly similar experience to the desktop and the web people when it comes to Teams. Very comprehensive. All the icons, all the buttons match. I think it's very easy for anybody to find out. The Teams Copilot developers have done an awesome job to make it usable and understandable for everybody. The next Copilot is actually another Teams one. Technically, it's not, but there's something called Sales Copilot. This has a plugin for both Outlook and Teams. I don't have it, so I can't really show it to you, but let me just show you where the documentation is. I know what this is supposed to do, so I can talk through it real fast. Let's say you have a sales meeting and you talk about a lot of different product names. What you can do is after the meeting, you can say, hey, Sales Copilot, tell me about this meeting. It will tell you the products that were discussed, maybe some feedback from the person, the seller, and what they were, the seller and mostly the customer or the buyer, and get some help you kind of plan that sales meeting, what to do next afterwards. Here we are on the Microsoft Learning page. You can go to the Microsoft Sales Copilot, try it out. There's the plugins for Outlook and Teams. It's really nice in Teams. After a meeting, you go to that recap and it will have Sales plugin there. Like I said, I don't have access to this, so at this time I can't show you this Copilot, but just know this exists. There should probably be some future demos. If I get access to it, then hopefully I can come back in a future video and talk about this. I'm going to go to our developers now. We kind of finished up with the user Copilots like Office 365 and things like that. We're moving into other Copilots that exist today. The one that's been around probably the longest that most people know about was the GitHub Copilot. So let's have a quick look where to find that and the use cases for it. I'm in Visual Studio Code. This is typically how I access it. On the left side over here, I have a chat button. This brings up GitHub Copilot chat. And in here, I can ask it to generate, example, unit test for my code. This is just one small example of what you can do. If you're a developer and you write a lot of code, this is a great way to cut down on writing that code because it will help do it. Now, obviously, different levels of skill, different ways to do things. I find myself to be more of a novice. so I don't write crazy complex code, and thus I think this works really well for me. It saves me a lot of time, and it probably will get you at least a really good starting point rather than writing it all from scratch yourself. The next Copilot is called Viva Engage. Once again, more for end users, so we'll discuss what that looks like. What's the history of it? So Viva is an overall product suite, and there's lots of different types of Viva, like Viva Engage and Viva Learning, etc., that you can look into. Viva Engage used to be Yammer. So anybody that knows Yammer, it's Engage under the Viva brand now. I don't actually have access to it at the moment, but let me just show a web page of some of the features so people know that the Copilot exists within Viva Engage. So here we are. This was posted back very, very early in the year, back in March, but this is an overview of what Viva Engage will look like. I'll put this link in the description. You can look at the conversation, look at the history, do posting in there. If your team is big into Engage, that's awesome. Copilot is also coming to Answers in Viva. So as I said, the Viva is an overall product suite with different applications within it. So it's also coming to Answers as well. So as you can see, there's 2 or 3 more Copilots within the Viva product suite that exist. I can't show it because I don't have access, but just know this is just one of those many Copilots that actually exist already that people can start using. Hope you all love this one. If you're using Azure, the Azure portal to create VMs and do different things like that, there is now an Azure Copilot. I didn't even know about this. I just logged in one day. I was going to do some stuff, and I saw the icon up there. I was like, oh, it's the Copilot icon. So let's flip over, have a look at it, see where to find it so you can start using it there. Here we are within the Azure portal page. So as you can see at the top, when you get Copilot, it's going to be right here. You're going to have a nice icon that we're used to. When you click on it, it's going to open up, and you can actually ask it to do a lot of things within Azure. For example, I could say, help me create an ARM template to create VMs or resources, or you can ask it about your resources. So depending on the level of permission you have, whatever resources you have access to, you'll be able to give me information about those resources, such as how many resources have a tag or any resources that are missing a tag, how many Azure resources have policy. The possibilities are endless to cut down on generating reports sometimes, but just think about it. This is a great starting point to have Copilot in the Azure portal to help looking at your infrastructure, managing, creating the infrastructure, getting away from doing it manually, taking that Copilot, turning it into ARM, Terraform templates, and just I don't even know where to begin. I'm just so excited about this. It's just awesome. I think it's a great place to go. Hopefully people start getting access to this, but this is Copilot in Azure. This one, it's for my security professionals, my SOC people, my analysts, my red teamers, whoever title you love to use. This is Security Copilot. This one's probably my one I'm most excited about. You guys know I'm a cybersecurity nerd here. Security Copilot, it's going to end up in the security.microsoft.com page, right alongside the incidents, the alerts, and the hunting, if you've been using that Defender XDR product today. It was going to be in Sentinel. I'll put some links about that. Sentinel's going to move some of its stuff into here, so that way we get that unified XDR portal with Security Copilot. So here we are on the desktop. Just so you know, this is a 100% demo environment. I have no access to really change anything. It's like a click-through demo, so it's kind of boo-hoo. As you can see within an incident itself, there is a Security Copilot here. This can do things like, hey, help me classify this incident or help me understand more about this type of incident. This is great because whatever's going on in your organization, it's going to have more context about your organization and your data and your alerts to make a better informed decision. It's not about other people's stuff or somebody on Reddit said, no, that's a high problem or it's a low problem. This is using your data to come up with what they think is relevant. So this is where you'll find it within the incident page. If you flip over to the hunting page, there's also a Security Copilot icon here within the hunting page. And the nice thing about this one, which it doesn't work, so it's a demo environment, remember, it does work in real life. You would be able to say, hey, tell me more about this KQL or change this KQL or update this, or even just write me a KQL and then turn it into a graph or bar graph or whatever. This is where you're going to find the Security Copilot within the Microsoft Defender webpage. And with that, we've come to the end of this episode. I had to go fast because these could take hours if I was to go one by one. I am going to probably do some deep dives on some of the Office ones because I think that's going to be relevant for a lot of people. Obviously, I don't have access to everything. Like Security Copilot is kind of very hard to get into. Viva Engage, I don't have. But there are a lot of Copilots. Even if you just missed it, I can't even count them. I'm not going to count them right now. I'll get that number wrong. But the point is, most people say, Microsoft 365, there's a Copilot. There are a lot of awesome Copilots going on right now. More products will get it. If you're using them, leave a chat down at the bottom saying, hey, by the way, I saw this new Copilot and I've been using it. Really good stuff, really excited about for where it's going to go. I'm going to have probably a lot more videos on this topic for a little while, because if you're excited about it, it's easier to create videos, especially with the new year coming up. My project workload's been lower, so I'm actually able to do a video. But I'm going to end it with that. Once again, this is IT Candor. I appreciate the people who've subscribed or liked the videos and started it. As I said, this has been the first time trying to do it for this year. This might be the last main video for the year, because I want to spend time with family and then start the new year fresh. Once again, thanks for all the support. So far, still enjoying this. We're going to keep it going. If you like Copilot, maybe put that on your New Year's resolution. I think it's a good thing to think about for the upcoming year, of how can you adopt this within your workflow just to make your job a little bit easier and get those promotions, because your work looks so amazing. And with that, as always, keep it candor. Bye.